Larry Smith Award is presented annually to a former small college basketball player that has used the game of basketball to apply the lessons that they learned through the great game, through their professors, to significantly enhance their life, and then has turned around and given back and made the world a better place. To be honest, I'm personally very proud of this award, as it speaks very well to the purpose of the small college basketball platform. We want to use our platform as a force for good, and this award highlights someone that has used the game of basketball to get an education, to learn from their coaches, their professors, and made something of themselves, and then turn around and make the world a better place, as I had mentioned. Here to talk about the Larry Smith Award is Jim Nelson, the Athletic Director Emeritus from Suffolk University, and coming with him is Larry Smith himself. Come on up, Jim. Larry.
Thank you, John. This is Larry Smith. I am Jim Nelson. Smith, such a common name, but an uncommon individual. Larry Smith was raised in an impoverished section just across the Tobin Bridge from downtown Boston, where Larry would go on to study with his brother Michael, and also Larry would star on our basketball team. Larry, when he was at Suffolk University, thought it would be an average day for him, just going off to class, going to basketball practice, and enjoying his teammates. But in the first year, Larry's dad, who was a window washer, who went to Boston, downtown to the financial district, and would clean the windows. But he had an accident, and he couldn't perform that function any longer. And it was up to Larry to step forward. Now, Suffolk University is located on historic Beacon Hill, the cradle of liberty. And Larry, each day, getting up early, taking the train over to Boston, early in the morning, cleaning the windows, going over to school, changing his clothing, getting ready to study, going off to practice, and repeating that day after day after day, without complaint. It was the proper thing for him to do. And he knew that all along. After Larry graduated from Suffolk University, and his brother Michael, who preceded him by 3 years, they started several businesses and became enormously successful. But what did not change was Larry's always appreciating where he came from those humble beginnings. And over the years, as his wealth increased, he knew that the opportunity was there for him to give back, as John has indicated. He had that platform. He had that role. Now this week, when I went over to Suffolk, I do a number of things while I'm over there. I had the opportunity to go down and shoot some hoops on the Smith basketball court. I went into the fitness center, the Smith Fitness Center. I went over to visit my grandson, who's a sophomore at Suffolk University. in the Smith Residence Hall. And I went to a function that the university was having in their main function room, the Smith Pavilion. Who does this? Larry Smith has accomplished that. Not only did he give back in terms of his financial generosity, he now is a member of our Board of Trustees, paving the way with decision-making for future generations. But he's also sponsored scholarships. His very good friend in college, who was killed in the Vietnam War, Larry's introduced a scholarship in his name. And please remember, a week from Saturday will be Veterans Day. And those veterans who in the past served us so well, and those that continue to do so, they need our thanks. Larry himself is a veteran. He appreciates what they have contributed to our country. We will never forget. What is next for Larry? Many things. In addition to his wonderful philanthropy for Suffolk University, he has a winter home down in Boca Raton, Florida, leaving us to chill up in Boston for the winter. And there is now at Lynn University the Elaine and Larry Smith Fitness Center. Godspeed to Larry's late wife Elaine, the rock of that family. And the daughter Karen is with us also this evening to celebrate this oh-so-special event, the Small College Basketball Hall of Fame, our inductees in this Larry Smith Award. You will be hearing from previous winners, but now let us turn our attention to the screen while we watch a video on this year's winner of the Larry Smith Award.
Small College Basketball is proud to recognize Charlie Brock as the winner of the 2023 Larry Smith Award. Charlie Brock spent 24 seasons as the head coach at Springfield College and 42 total years as a head coach in college basketball. He took 3 different schools to the NCAA Division III tournament, including 7 times at Springfield. Brock is the longest tenured and winningest men's basketball coach at Springfield College. Brock eclipsed the 20-win mark 6 times, including a 22-9 record during the 2017-18 season, taking Springfield to the NCAA Division III Final Four. During his career, Brock was named the NEWMAC Coach of the Year twice and SEAC Coach of the Year once. In 2018, Brock was the Glenn Robinson Award recipient, awarded to the Division III National Coach of the Year. Brock earned his 500th victory on November 21, 2015, and finished his 42-year career with 586 victories. Brock was recognized with the NABC Guardian of the Game Award for Advocacy for his commitment to the sport of basketball over the course of his career. During the 2018-19 academic year, Brock served as the NABC president and was also a contributing writer to the popular NABC publication Courtside. Coach Brock served 5 years on the NCAA Men's Basketball Rules Committee and served on the NCAA Division III Men's Basketball Committee, serving as the national chair in 2010. While on the Men's Basketball Committee, he was instrumental in the creation of the Division III Reese's All-Star Game. Additionally, Brock lent his teaching skills to other countries and has traveled internationally to Venezuela, Taiwan, Japan, and Estonia to teach the game of basketball. At Springfield College, Brock was a facilitator for the Pride's Literacy Awards program, and he also created the Dream to Read program to help improve literacy in the city of Springfield. Congratulations to Charlie Brock, winner of the 2023 Larry Smith Award.
pretty humbling. I'm honored, grateful for the recognition. I'm certainly not here because of anything I did on my own. I'm going to say a few things and I'll be included in them, but I was there, so I don't have much of a choice. But I don't want it to see with the intent that I'm talking about myself. Larry Smith, so much has been said. I did some research and I looked into him a little bit, and the thing that really struck me is Larry's awareness and in contributing to schools like Suffolk and schools like Lynn and doing things for kids. He's changed lives, and especially I'm certain that his focus is basketball, but he's done things to change lives in so many other ways, especially in the area of health and wellness. So just amazing to stand here and have his name attached somewhat to mine. I believe we are products of our environment and with the choices we make. Thank you, basketball, for giving me in 1971 the opportunity to choose going to Springfield College. I went to Springfield. It started a 60-year relationship. I played for a man named Ed Billick, very bright coach. We were not alike. He was a teetotaler. I was not. He liked hair clipped down short, and I rode a motorcycle. It was a bit of a tumultuous relationship, and this time period is in the early 70s, so things were a little squirrely. One of the things that is interesting about this is I played against John Kowalski, and I called a buddy of mine that I played with, Don Pingree, and said, do you know this guy? And he says, yeah, he was awesome. And he said, why? And I said, well, I'm going to a thing and he's being inducted into the Small College Hall of Fame. And Donnie says, well, what are you doing there? So my college playing career was, if there was a comment made about it, was unremarkable and uneventful. What was remarkable was that I graduated from Springfield and I proceeded to go to Maine. I packed my car up and I went to Wells Beach and I bartended on the beach in the summer. I worked a little construction in the fall. Went to Sugarloaf Mountain up in the mountains and ski bummed and worked as a waiter at the Sugarloaf Inn, and went back to do a little construction in the spring, and somehow, no cell phones, Billick tracked me down, or somehow I got word, I don't know. And I got in touch with him and he says, what are you doing? I says, Coach, I'm having a ball. He says, no, you're not. You're coming back and you're working for me. Now, next fall, you're going to work for me and you're going to get your master's degree. So off I went. Again, thank you, basketball, because here we go again. The first thing I learned in going to Springfield was that I had to learn the history of it, and it's fairly deep, the history at Springfield, going all the way back to Naismith. Ed Hickox was a curator of the Hall of Fame. John Bunn was on this, I believe he was the NABC board member, and I think he may have been on the Rules Committee. Ed Stites, we've heard about him and his induction tonight. Ed Billick was also a secretary editor of the Rules. And the second thing I learned is I had to join the NABC. So it was a professional organization, and I did it. The first committee I got on was called the Academic Committee. Here we go again. It's kind of an oxymoron. But it was the Academic Committee, and Fran Fischilla was the chair. I was the vice chair. And if you know Franny at all, you know that basically we told Franny what we were doing on the Academics Committee. He was the chair, but that's okay. We started a program called A Dream to Read and took it national. We presented it to the board of the NABC, got Coach Krzyzewski involved, of course, and so that was a done deal. And it went national. We targeted first through third grade students in high-risk environments and put this program together for all the colleges in the country to use if they wanted to. And it was just a great win-win for both the players who were presenting this and promoting literacy and the kids who received the help. So it was a great thing. So I'm a part of the NABC now, and I'm young. I'm a Springfield man, so I have to go to all the meetings. So our Division III meeting, Paige, you'll remember this, I'm sure. Our Division III meeting was at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning at the Final Four. Well, it's a tough one. 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning at the Final Fours. Might have been up a little bit late on Friday night. And I get in there about 5 minutes late, kind of try to squeak in. Well, I didn't get it done. And Herb Kenny was the chair of the board at that time, and he absolutely lambasted me in front of everybody for about 5 minutes. Needless to say, I was never late for another meeting, and soon after, I was invited to be a part of the NABC board. And again, thank you, basketball. What do you think my first move was as soon as I got on the board? I changed the meeting time to 9 o'clock. Some years later, I was fortunate enough to be on the Division III committee and at the same time on the board of directors, and TV dictated what time our championship game was going to be at the Division III Final Four, and it turned out that the championship game was going to be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, very early for what we had been accustomed to, and we had all the years prior to that a consolation game prior to the final on that Saturday. That would have made the consolation game at 10 o'clock in the morning, and the committee got together and we all agreed that's just not going to happen. We can't have a game played at 8 o'clock on a Friday night and ask those teams that have gone so far and done so well to go into another game at 10 o'clock in the morning, get ready to play, turn it around and play that game. So we nixed the consolation game and we replaced it with a national all-star game. Put the whole program together. Paige was there. Unbelievable committee of Paige, Pat Cunningham, Dave Martin was on it, Zapolsky, guy from Augustana up in Indiana. Just a great group, and we had about 9 months to put the game together, get the money together, and it started, I believe, in 2010, and since then has gone every year, 20 players, so we've given a chance of a lifetime to over 200 kids to play in this National All-Star game at the end of the season. Pretty neat. The last thing I want to bring up as far as committees go, and if I could, and if I say nothing else that you pay attention to this. We're all here because of basketball, and I stand here and say thank you, basketball, for all it's done for me. I was also a member of the Rules Committee for 5 years, and this is something that we all need to pay attention to. It's a game that is so great. It's so much fun. The March Madness is unbelievable. But there's decisions that you have to make. And I'm not saying that we would all agree. I'm sure we don't. But you have to make a decision on whether you want the rules to be such that it's all college basketball or rules for Division I, Division II, and Division III and NAIA. You have to make a decision on whether you want balance offensively and defensively. You've got to make a decision on whether or not you want quarters, which eliminates the one-on-one free throws. End of game situations. Do you want the ball to be advanced without a player or the clock running? Things like that are coming up constantly in the rules. You have to pay attention, and it's very important that you express yourself. You will be heard. So thank you, basketball, for just a great way of living. It's been a part of my life, my whole life. I've never not. What I found is that we all have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. If it is serving, then serve. If it is teaching, then teach. If it is to encourage, then give encouragement. If it is giving, then give generously. If it is to lead, do it diligently. And if it is to show mercy, do it cheerfully. Thank you, basketball, for giving us a platform on which we can all play our part. I can't put into words what John McCarthy's done with this whole event. I am so impressed. His leadership, his advocacy, his steadfast, absolute resolve to follow a dream that he's had is just admirable. We also, in this process, have the wonderful opportunity to be connected to Springfield College and Larry Smith with a donation that Larry has chosen to make to Springfield College. And I've learned, if nothing else, over my 45 years of coaching basketball, that I never want to try to put words in the president's mouth. I know that she is, if she were here, be extremely grateful, Larry, and I will say thank you for her. I'd like to thank a couple people. Brian McGoffin is here with me from Springfield College, representing me and Dr. Stites. Paige Moore is one of my best friends, and we spent so much time together on all these committees. My partner in life, Lori, who's not here, but we all know how difficult it is to be the partner of a head coach. I think she watched every home game I had for over 15 years, and most of the time she had no idea what was going on, but she sure knew how it ended. And last but not least, my three kids. I've got my oldest son is 35, my middle daughter is 33, and my youngest son, Chase, is 31. Were they to be here, I know they'd be very respectful for all that's going on here. So thank you, basketball, for all the opportunities that you've given me.
So on behalf of the Larry Smith Award, Larry Smith, as you just heard, is making a contribution to Springfield College in the amount of $5,000 in the name of Charlie Brock.